everybody. It's the moment that you've all been waiting for. The biggest CFL fan you know, Keith Whitty, are getting ready to preview for you the Super Bowl. That's right, the Super Bowl. Now you think to yourself, Keith, this isn't the Grey Cup. This is the Super Bowl. But let me tell you, who better to get you primed for the big game than me, Whittier? Why? Number one, because I love all sports, and the NFL is included in that. I love the CFL more, but I still love the NFL. Number two, absolutely dominated my pools that I was in this year. And who better to come and talk to you about this than me? Who are you going to trust? Those guys on the NFL Network? Those guys on Fox? Okay, maybe. But you should listen to what I have to say too. This is going to be a fantastic game. On the one hand, you've got the NFC reigning champions, the Seattle Seahawks. And on the other hand, the AFC champions, the Denver Broncos. Top teams in both of their respective conferences are going to meet at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. New York. Well, they say New York, but technically it's in New Jersey, but whatever. This is going to be an absolutely huge game. Probably 1 billion people are going to be watching it, and I know I'm going to definitely be one of them. Now, let's talk about the game. Historically in football, they say that good defense wins games. So if that's the case, it's got to be the Seattle Seahawks, right? They are the absolutely best defense in the NFL, led by Richard Sherman. You know Richard Sherman, that trash talker from Seattle. Of course, everybody remembers that soundbite that he had with Aaron Andrews at the end of the San Francisco game. That's what happens when you put a sorry receiver like Crabtree against me. I'm the best corner in the game. He went completely nuts. And everybody's playing that soundbite and making him sound like, he's this big thug. He's not a thug. He was just an emotional guy at the time. Fact of the matter is that if you put a mic on me right after I stub my toe in the house, you might hear something like that. Maybe I get up in the middle of the night and I'm taking a walk through the house, and all of a sudden I stub my toe. It's like, damn it, who put this stupid table here? This hurts. I'm going to kill that fool, sucker. And then you come and you talk to me after, and I'm like, you know what? I should have seen that coffee table there. What's wrong with me? Different level of interview. But I'm feeling bad for poor Erin Andrews, because I'm thinking at some point over the last couple of weeks, she's been lying in bed with her boyfriend, and her boyfriend's rolled over to touch her, and she's been like, don't touch me! And it's like, oh wait, I was having a nightmare. You're not Richard Sherman. I'm going to be okay. Anyways, if you look beside Richard Sherman, you're going to see 10 other extremely capable men on the Seattle defense. But what's waiting for those men on the Seattle defense? They're waiting for Peyton Manning and that explosive offense, the top offense in the NFL. So you think to yourself, defense wins football games, and that's true, but let's look at Peyton Manning, who I'll look at as the professor, because he is an expert at reading defenses. So the Seattle defense is coming at you. Well, let's look at this. Consider over the last 2 playoff games, Peyton Manning hasn't been sacked once. Why? Because he's got phenomenal pass protection, and B, because he can read a defense like nobody's business. So let's flip over to the Seattle offense. You've got Russell last name Wilson getting ready to launch an aerial attack against Denver. Really? Well, let's look at it this way. You're not going to be putting up a lot of points against that Denver defense because they're pretty rock solid themselves. You think about one of the biggest factors that Seattle had for them was the 12th man. Some of you my CFL fans are thinking the 12th man. Keep in mind, NFL, not 12 players, 11 players. So the 12th man, the fans in Seattle, well, they won't be a factor. Why? Because they're going to be playing this game in New York/New Jersey. I'm sure there will be a lot of Seattle fans, but not to the extent that they would deal with in their home stadium. You also take into consideration that Russell, last name Wilson, is going to be playing on the biggest stage of his career. Flash bulbs everywhere he turns, the media, the fans, the glitz, the glamour. Whereas Peyton Manning is a professional. Not saying that Russell, last name Wilson, isn't, but he's an experienced professional with a certain level of maturity. When he gets a touchdown, he's not celebrating, kissing his bicep, doing all sorts of poses. Peyton Manning's going back to the sidelines and getting ready to do it again. Russell, last name Wilson, went into the NFC Conference Championship game, and he was out of his element. That was clear on the first play when he coughed up a fumble. Now, you could say everybody makes mistakes, but the reason they won that game was because their defense bailed them out of it. The offense wasn't generating a lot, but the defense was. Let's keep in mind that had Colin Kaepernick completed that pass, San Francisco's in the title game. That's a big what if. But you substitute Colin Kaepernick and Peyton Manning, Colin Kaepernick is no Peyton Manning. Don't get me wrong, he's on his way to being a good quarterback, but Peyton Manning is a great quarterback, and he won't be making those mistakes. Sure, he might be good for 1 interception in the Super Bowl, but he's certainly not going to cough up 2, 3, or 4. And good luck getting to Peyton Manning. I'm predicting it's going to be Omaha all day long. So with that in mind, I give you my Super Bowl prediction pick. I am picking the Denver Broncos to win the Super Bowl. I'm picking the Denver Broncos to go on and win the Vince Lombardi Trophy. And I'll even go as far as to say I wouldn't be surprised if Peyton Manning, after his record season, is the MVP. I have a lot of respect for Seattle. I think they've played one heck of a season. But I think in this game, on the grandest stage of them all, Peyton Manning's going to shine. What do you think, though? I'd be very interested to hear your opinions on this. Feel free to send me your comments, CFL_fan on Twitter. I know, CFL_fan. And you can also check me out at facebook.com/WhittyWhittier or the website WhittyWhittier.com. Are you going to be watching the Super Bowl this weekend? Who are you going to be going for? Let me know, and I'll talk to you soon.